Welcome back to episode 2 of Imperfectly Us. And we want to express our thanks and appreciation to everybody who's actually tuned in for the first episode.
I know, people actually listen to us.
Yeah, we got some good feedback.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
One of those pieces of feedback will actually be on later.
Yes, that is true.
We had a request for Izzy to make an appearance.
An Izzy cast. So Izzy is supposed to be joining us later to answer some questions. Fingers crossed that she doesn't develop stage fright at the last moment.
Yeah, otherwise this point is kind of moot.
Yes, that's true. So I guess we'll just see
we can always just
how it goes.
Restart the podcast and then throw it in the beginning.
No, that's just not the way life goes. It will be fitting. Either way, it'll be fitting.
All right. So this was kind of a crazy week.
It's been a whirlwind of a week. So being a teacher, we're nearing the last couple weeks of school, which means final papers and stuff like that are due. I'm an English teacher, for those of you that don't know. And so it was like one thing on top of another thing on top of another thing. I collected my final papers of the year and then trying to crank through grading those because we knew we were going out of town. And then when we came back from being out of town, we had a 5K and I had an award ceremony I emceed, and then I had our end of the year TBW dinner, and it's just like everything all in one. But we made it through, and I actually got my papers graded, partially because you let me off the hook and let me stay home from soccer practice last week so that I could actually just sit and focus on grading. So I do have to say props to you, good partner points for coming in clutch and letting me stay home and grade.
Well, you did miss something interesting at soccer practice that day.
Okay.
Izzy was kind of off on the left side of the field and getting involved, knocking some people around. Not really, but playing her heart out, even though it's just practice.
Okay.
And she takes a hard shot to the upper forehead.
Like the ball hit her forehead?
Yeah, the ball hit her forehead.
I love how we wait until we're recording a podcast to tell Mom these details.
She was fine. She didn't seem concussed. After she got hit, she kind of like looked around like she was a little dazed.
Oh yeah, but she doesn't seem concussed at all. Did a
little 360 slowly. Looked off to the left, looked off to the right, and you could see her from a distance that she was starting to well up. And she was running off the field into my arms. She's like, I didn't want to cry on the field.
Aww.
And I'm patting her head. I'm like, you're fine. It's be all good. And I'm like, are you just embarrassed? She goes, yeah.
Oh,
I'm like, all right, you can kind of just sit out here for a second and then go back and when you're ready.
She's pretty tough, though. That kid.
30 seconds later, she was back in.
All right. And we hope not concussed.
Yes. So I thought I would take this opportunity to, as practice ended, to walk her by the softball field. Because, I've been trying to push her into softball.
Yes. For probably, a year and a half now. And every time we ask her, her response is, no thanks.
She wants to play soccer. I just wanted to try one time for one season.
You are a baseball player yourself, and come from
My dad was a baseball player. My mom was a good softball player. My sister was a good softball player.
Yes.
She's got it. We see it in the backyard. She has the ability to rake.
Yes. But she doesn't have the interest.
No. But so they were playing, I'd say they were probably younger than her.
Mm-hmm.
Some softball league. I didn't know that existed around here. Younger than her.
No idea.
So we went over. We sat right on the gate.
Okay.
And watched. And she sat her butt down. And she's like, I can do this. 2 minutes later, she's like, oh no, I can't do this. I'm like, you do it in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened. Nothing really happened.
Maybe she was bored.
In the field, yeah. That's a possibility.
I mean, soccer's at least, when she's on the field, it's fast-paced and it's go, 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 go. So do you think maybe she got bored?
It's possible, but, I mean, if she's hitting, she she's not bored in the backyard because she's constantly
She's constantly doing something. She's an active kid. It's a good thing that we've lost as much weight as we have, and our energy has come up a little bit, because we would be like in serious deep water trying to
deep doo-doo.
Deep doo-doo, trying to keep up with her, because she's an active kid. So, which
she's been wanting to run a 5K, which we just had.
Yes, we did. Well, first, before we had our 5K, we went out of town for the weekend.
Yes.
So that was pretty sweet. My sister and my brother-in-law were in town from Texas for his parents' anniversary party, and then my sister's pregnant and due at the beginning of August. We did like a baby shower with his side of the family, and his side of the family with them, because they had rented this huge house in North Carolina. And
the first time you met them.
Yeah.
Get in the car for 18 hours.
I was getting in the car for, it was longer than that. But really, really great people. So we went out there and had a nice time. I think my favorite part of our trip out, out to my sister's house, to that side of the state, because my sister and my brother-in-law own a house over there, was, I think, our hike. We did a little hike. What's the place called again?
The Devil's Anus.
That is not what the place is called.
The Devil's Crack.
No, the Devil's Soup Bowl. That's what it's called.
Yeah, definitely don't eat out of the Devil's Anus.
No. Oh, God, it's so gross. So that was fun. We went hiking. And that was, I really enjoyed that. We ate some good food while we were out there.
It was a hell of a hike.
It was a hell of a hike.
Izzy went with us.
Yes. And she was doing great. She was totally doing great until she was...
Didn't.
Well, she was being a little bossy. I don't know where she gets that from. And she was too focused on what everybody else was doing and trying to keep us, I think, in like a straight line or something.
We were walking over a bridge.
Yeah. And she wanted us to do it a certain way. And so she tripped and fell and skinned up her elbow. And then from that point on was like, this sucks. I don't want to do this anymore, kind of thing.
Yes.
Obviously, she didn't say this sucks. But she was like, I want to go home now. Let's go eat breakfast.
It was an hour hike. And about 45 minutes of that was complaining.
Well, no. 45 minutes of it wasn't complaining.
She fell pretty early on.
She fell pretty early on, but then we played that ABC game.
Yeah, okay.
And that helped kind of distract her, because apparently most of parenting is just distracting your kid.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so we
played it wrong.
We played the ABC game. But so that was fun, but then we came home on, so it was, Memorial Day weekend, and we came home on Sunday evening, so that we could get up and run a 5K on Monday, which was really cool, because the 5K was for our local Veterans Memorial, so it benefited that, and that was a nice thing to do on Memorial Day. Just a slight problem was that I hadn't run since Easter.
Whose fault's that?
That would be my own fault, but nonetheless, it was still the scenario I was in, and we kind of have made it a goal, like a personal goal, to do a 5K a month, and we started in December, which meant we started really our running, like trying to be a runner thing in winter in Michigan. It did not feel like winter in Michigan on Monday at the 5K.
I love.
Yes.
I love running in the cold.
Mm-hmm.
But anything above 50 degrees, I'm done.
It was definitely above 50 degrees on Monday.
Luckily, we ran through that nice cut through the trail where it was a little shady.
Yeah, it was a beautiful run. We ran right on the Paint Creek Trail, and that was gorgeous. And so, yeah, it was and it was kind of cool. The medals were dog tags, so that was kind of neat. And my mom came into downtown, and her and Izzy cheered us on, and so that was neat. So we managed to, even though we knew it was going to be horrible, and I think it was my worst time on all of the 5Ks we've run. Like, even the first one, when I had, like, gone running, I don't know, twice before we decided. Like, we were like, we're going to do a 5K, and then I managed to run twice, and then we were doing a 5K. I think that one still went better time-wise than this one, which is unfortunate, because last month's 5K, I actually hit a PR. in terms of my like personal best time. Although my personal best time, I guess we should phrase it, because I am still like, I used to be one of those people that if I was running, you should run too, because that meant something deadly was chasing me. And so this idea that I'm even running is mind-boggling, and my mom's actually commented on that a couple of times. Do you remember when we were at the resolution run on New Year's Day, and I made a comment about like, oh, I bet you probably never expected to be cheering me on at a 5K, and she was like, no, I never did. I never did expect that. Like, she was trying to be so nice and polite about it, but you could tell she's like, I cannot believe my daughter is running.
She's supporting us a lot.
Yeah, she's been so great, because there's been times too, even where like she's offered to like take Iz so that we can go to the gym or go for a run or whatever. Yeah. So she's been really remarkable, and she's now come and watched Izzy she's watched Izzy, I think, for every one of them.
Yes.
That we've done so far. And so we started in December. So we've done December,
she was there for that
January.
One. Oh no, Courtney watched.
Oh yes. My sister watched her for the first one. And then January, my mom watched her, and they actually cheered us on. And then February, she watched her. March and April, March she watched her. April, she watched her. And then, we really almost broke our little streak.
We got him right at the butt of the month.
Yeah, at the end of the month, and we only registered for it a couple of days before it happened, but we made this personal goal to try to do one a month, and so I feel like once you stop like sticking to that, it's really easy to be like, oh man, June's really busy, or oh, it's going to be too hot in July, and so we did that one, and we actually already have our June one scheduled, which I think will be fun because, and you were kind of mentioning this earlier, Izzy has been interested in participating as well, and so they have a fun run. So Izzy's going to do, the one that we're doing is in Livonia, your hometown.
And it's at the Livonia Spree.
Yeah.
Which is like our little carnival, our birth of the city celebration, yeah.
Yeah. So that one's pretty neat, and so they're doing a fun run for the kids, and so Izzy's going to do that, and then we're going to do the 5K, and I'm excited for her because she, like, even the fun run kids get a medal, and so I know she's super excited about that. Though. I don't know if she does. And then the 5K, we get the medal, and then we also get a T-shirt, and I went ahead and I got my T-shirt in like a smaller size so that she can have my shirt. So that'll be fun for her.
Or a goal for you.
I'm pretty sure with my body type that will just be a T-shirt for her. I mean, I've lost a good amount, and I will never be a size small. It just won't ever happen. So, but I'm okay with that. But yeah, so it was a whirlwind, and then so we had the 5K.
See, I'm already lost.
And then I know, because this is how hectic our week was. Actually, and before we even, like, went out of town, last week after the whole soccer practice, and apparently our child getting concussed, thanks for waiting to tell me about that when I'm mic'd up and therefore cannot freak out and drop any F-bombs.
You're dropping F-bombs.
Yeah. And then that Thursday we had Alumni Day, and we found out that our broadcasting program was named the best high school broadcasting program in the nation by the National Federation of High Schools.
National champs.
Yeah, so we had that. And then Friday we left out of town right after Izzy got out of school, and we were gone Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, got home Sunday night, did our 5K on Monday, did our grocery shopping because we didn't have any food, didn't really have time to meal plan. So we just kind of picked up some fruits and vegetables. We're kind of piecing things together.
Grab fruit, vegetables, and chicken.
Yeah.
We'll make do.
Yeah, we'll figure it out from there. And then we came home and I continued grading. But I finished my papers Monday before I went to bed. And then Tuesday was a doozy for me.
Oh, yeah, Tuesday.
So people are always really surprised to find out that I have really bad public speaking anxiety. because I'm a broadcasting teacher and I'm a speech teacher, and I have a background in, like, growing up, I thought I was going to pursue a career in broadcast news. And speech teacher, speech coach. I coached forensics for many years and worked with...
It's not as cool as it sounds. It's not like CSI forensics. It's
cooler than it sounds. You are just digging. I'm keeping a tally over here between the concussion,
it's like
the concussed child, and now comments like that. But
well, when you told me it was forensics, you coached forensics, I had like Mark Harmon on my mind. Where
stop thinking about Mark Harmon.
You're gonna go
I can't handle what weird things you think about.
Analyze blood splatter and like pull some Dexter moves.
Yeah, well,
but no, it's
more people fear death than they do more people fear public speaking than they do death. So apparently my type of forensics is even more hardcore because more people fear it.
Death is over.
Than they do death. But needless to say, I've worked with a ton of talented kids in the past. Coached some state champions, lots of state finalists. But I've always been kind of the one behind the scenes because I have really bad public speaking anxiety. It's something that I push myself to do. And I'm fine in a scenario, like right now we're just sitting at our kitchen table talking. Like that's not stressful. But even like, at the beginning of every school year and even at the beginning of every term when I switch classes and I have new students, like I'm always really nervous for that first appearance in front of a crowd. And so I had the opportunity this year. I was approached by my admin about emceeing the senior awards night. And we're trying to embrace this whole healthy living, pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zone, embracing challenges, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you type growth mindset, whatever you want to call it,
I like
right?
That one.
I can make a whole bunch of hashtags.
That needs a shirt.
Okay, you can make it into a shirt. And so in a moment of bravery and strength that is not my own, I said yes. And then I immediately regretted it. And I got so stressed thinking about this. And basically, like, I was at a microphone reading, and names are really hard. So that's what I was doing for a majority of it. I was just reading, a student's name, what awards they were receiving, where they're going to school, what they're studying, what additional scholarships they had been getting. And it was just name after name after name after name after name. And I was super freaked out about it. And everybody was so surprised about the fact that I have public speaking anxiety because I'm a speech teacher and a former speech coach. And they didn't think that was something that...
And
makes
you're good
me nervous,
at
it. And it
but
does.
when you
it
do,
makes me
you're
nervous.
good at it. And that's another thing is people can't separate you still being good at something, but being nervous about it.
Yeah. So I guess I think that the experience this week taught me really 3 things that I think are important. One is anxiety is anxiety. So it's not always logical. Like the things that we fear and the things that make us anxious, it doesn't matter if they're logical or not. They're the things that we fear and that make us anxious. And so anxiety is anxiety. And we can't control it. 2, just because you're good at something doesn't mean that it doesn't make you nervous and fearful. And so, yes, I was very lucky to have a very good speech teacher and broadcasting teacher in high school that saw that I kind of had a knack for this. And he kind of, pushed me to pursue it because I didn't have the confidence on my own to ever even consider doing like anything like that. And I had this great teacher that gave me that confidence and cheered me on. And so I have the ability to do it. I have a knack for it. But it still makes me super, super nervous. But it's something that I frequently put myself in this situation because the pride I feel when I overcome that anxiety is, I don't even know that I can put it into words. So, I'm a hot mess. I was literally thinking I was going to throw up in the wings. Our auditorium is huge, and it was a packed house, like even up in the balcony.
How many students did you have?
So
how many did you read off?
I don't know how many actually attended, but there was like around 400 that were invited to attend, and they said that they had more attend this year than they had in recent years. And I honestly,
every 400.
Every time I looked up, there was just a stream of kids, and I talked nonstop for like 2 hours. I just read names.
So if one student brings 2 parents.
Yeah, there was a lot of people there.
You're getting a little anxious right
yeah,
now?
I'm getting, how can you tell? I'm getting a little uncomfortable when I think back. And that's one of those things too, like, because it's something that causes me such massive anxiety, like, I do it. And when it's over, it's almost like I, like, partially black out for it. Like I couldn't tell you. So, because I mean, like, I got home and you're like, how did it go? And I'm like, well, I didn't throw up and I didn't cry on stage. Like, and so it sounds crazy because it's like, well, would you do it again next year? Yeah, I would, because, like, I expect my students.
Good, because you're going to get asked.
Probably, yeah. I expect my students and I expect our daughter to do things that are going to challenge her and things that she might fail at. And oh my God, it would have been horrible to fail in that arena with that many people. But like, we tell kids to take risks and to push themselves out of their comfort zone. And so I'm trying to do that more as an adult, because I feel like up until this last year has kind of liberated me quite a bit. I finally feel like I'm coming into my own as a human being. And a lot of the insecurities that I've struggled with my entire life, I'm starting to finally feel like I'm getting some footing with them, if that makes sense. And so, like a year ago, if they had asked me to MC this event, I wouldn't even have considered it.
Well, it's the whole, what my saying is, look good, feel good.
It's a little cocky.
But I mean,
but I do feel more comfortable in my own skin. And when I don't, I think we talked about this last episode about like dancing our asses off at the wedding. Like when you feel a little bit more comfortable in your own skin, and it's not even necessarily the looks. It's just feeling like I can breathe and be myself, and I'm not like, I don't even want to like use like the number on the scale, because it's not about the number. It's about like how my body feels. I mean, I had gotten to the point where, and my knees still do this because they're still dealing with the repercussions of all the extra weight. My knees crack and pop every step I take up and down stairs.
They sound like rubber bands stretching full. Mm-hmm.
And I can only imagine what I was doing to my knees when I weighed 55 pounds more. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things that, but yeah, I don't know. It was crazy. And I, you know, and everybody was so super sweet and so surprised to hear about the fact that this is something that causes me such stress, because, like, I mean, I work, myself and one of my colleagues, my teacher bestie, Lynn's, we work with the graduation speakers, the kid speakers for graduation. And yet the idea of doing it myself is just totally petrifying. And so I'm much better in like this, you know, director coaching, advising standpoint, but I do, when the opportunity arises, you know, I take part in public speaking things because of, I guess, the satisfaction maybe that I feel when I'm done. But I feel like it's important for people to realize that, one, anxiety is anxiety and it's not necessarily logical. And two, like, you can be good at something and it still totally tie you up in knots. And so I think that was the thing that was surprising, because I think even multiple people commented like on my Facebook status about it, that like, oh, but you're so good at it.
Right.
And it's like, well, thanks. I appreciate that. But I like, if you knew what was running through my body, I mean, shit, my Fitbit. When I got home that night, I looked, I got an alert on my phone that's like, congratulations, you're almost to your 5-day exercise goal. And I'm like, it's Tuesday. How am I know I ran we hiked on Sunday. I ran a 5K on Monday, but like, I didn't do any exercise today. And sure as shit, I pulled up my Fitbit app and it had logged that my time on stage as biking. My blood pressure was up so much that it thought I was biking. I mean, I did have like a year ago when I was doing a lecture about something in broadcasting where it actually thought I was playing a sport. So apparently I get very passionate sometimes. But yeah,
You also talk with your hands.
I do.
A lot.
Yes,
Even sitting here, you're talking with your hands.
I know. I'm sorry if you've heard me. I've hit the microphone a couple of times and the table. I'm trying to rein it in. But I'm also a little bit anxious because we're talking about all this public speaking stuff.
Right. And you're getting a little squirmy and you're going to get the nervous poops here again.
Yeah. We don't really need to tell people about my nervous poops. Thanks so much. That's a detail that really...
We all get them.
Should never be brought up when there's a microphone on. So thanks for that.
We all get them.
Yeah. Well, feel free to talk about your own. I don't really want to share about mine. I think I had a third point, and I don't. I'm like such an anxious mess, even recalling the anxiety that it caused. But I guess the biggest thing that I tweeted about it on my Twitter, and I did it because we need to do things that push us out of our comfort zone. I am growing as a person, and I'm very much happier with the person I am right now as I'm approaching my 35th birthday in a couple weeks.
20 days.
And the woman I am right now, I'm much happier with who that person is than the woman I was a year ago. And definitely 10 years ago.
It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, there's that saying about women and fine wine. And not just that we like to drink it, but that, we get better with age. And I don't know if I'd go that far, but I do definitely feel more proud of who I am and more comfortable with who I am. And so that was the whole thing. I put myself in this tizzy because the satisfaction and the pride I feel when I work through something that causes me so much anxiety is not something that I can describe. And so it was pretty intense. But I survived it, and nobody booed me off the stage. Admin did not get out the hook and try to yank me off. So I'm hoping it went okay, because like I said, I really don't have any concept of self-concept if it did or not, because I felt like I just talked for a very, very long time.
Just names.
It was just names. Yep. Had a couple up. Parliamentarian.
That lost on me.
So in addition to, one of the things I had to announce is if they were a member of NHS. And one of my lovely former students, I was kind of even joking with her a little bit before, because she was joking. She has an easy name, and so we were joking about that. And and then I went to read. I had to read the fact not only is she an NHS, but she's an officer. And I, for the life of me, Jay, could not say the word parliamentarian. I was like, I know the word.
You sounded
I
like
sounded like
guy
Elmer
from,
Fudd. I sounded like Elmer Fudd, right? Isn't
Albert.
he the one? And I couldn't believe it. But so sorry. Shout out to Kylie if you ever listen to this. I'm sorry. I totally butchered the word parliamentarian. But I got your name right. So there's that. But yeah. So that was super stressful. But
now it's done.
I survived it, and it's done, and I'm proud of the fact that I did something that pushed me out of my comfort zone.
No, you only got
graduation.
And
it was amazing to be a part of this special event with these seniors. We have such a good group that's graduating, and so to be able to be a part of that was really unique and special. And then So that was Tuesday night. And then last night, Wednesday night, we had our end of the year TPW dinner, which is always really like bittersweet because, you fall in love with these students where you have like, they're so creative and hardworking and talented. And so when graduation rolls around and luckily some of them are juniors, so I have another year with them. But a lot of them are moving on, and it's one of those things that you're sad to see them go, but then you're so excited because you know that like they're super talented and they're going to achieve these great things. So we had that. I had that last night, which Izzy came with me to. We went to soccer practice, and then we went to that.
She was excited to get out of soccer practice a little early.
She was really excited about going to the high school, going to Mama's school. And then the whole way home, all she talked about was how she couldn't wait to be in high school.
Yeah,
I can't wait to be in high school. And I was like, no, honey, like let's not get ahead of ourselves. Like you've got a great kindergarten class. Let's enjoy the last couple weeks. And then she's like, yeah, but high school, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no. Like, and I'm basically saying in my head, like, Mommy's going to start crying if you keep talking about this or have a panic attack and hyperventilate. And so she ended up just talking about it the whole way home.
Did you clarify what TPW was?
So TPW is Television Production Workshop. There are advanced broadcasting students. And my colleague Roger teaches that class. I'm talking with my hands again. I spend most of my day teaching English, but I do get to teach some of the broadcasting classes, and then I work with him, working with those kids, like with after school shoots and then podcasts and stuff like that. So it's a really great group of kids. But yeah, there are advanced broadcasting students. And I was a member of TPW when I was in high school, and both Rogers and my former teacher, Brett, was that teacher that made that tremendous impact on my life, and I would say probably also on Rogers, because we both followed in his footsteps regarding going into teaching, and now so it's kind of cool. Two alumni
taking over the program
are working with that program. So, but Roger gets to do a majority of it, and then I kind of get to tag in and help out, and then also teach a lot of English classes and grade a lot of papers. So it's a whirlwind. And so tonight was our first night where we didn't have anything.
We were home.
And we were home in like over a week. And
we had to run to Sam's Club hungry, but...
Went to Sam's Club. And then came home and had to throw together dinner because we didn't meal plan. But that brings me to... So I feel like we should have a cool name for it, but I don't really have a cool name. So we're just going to call it a healthy hack, right?
Yeah.
So it's no secret. I think we talked about in the first episode that Jay and I do WW. And so we're not affiliated with WW, but we do WW. And that's how we've lost that's how I've lost 50. We probably just hit our year anniversary, right?
Probably.
Because it was sometime in May, at the end of May. But I've lost 55 pounds since we started WW. And so it kind of ties in perfectly. So our healthy hack, right? Because there's been things that we've learned along the way that I feel like are really, really helpful in terms of
staying on track
and also still enjoying food. So I was going to share 2 healthy hacks today.
We could only do one.
No. But they're both good.
I'm sure all of the hacks are good.
Of course they are. That's why we're sharing them.
All right, let's do 2.
Okay, so the first healthy hack, and it actually ties to tonight's dinner. So what do we have for dinner tonight?
Chicken fajita salad.
I know, right? It was like part taco salad, part chicken fajitas, part nachos.
Well, it's part of the taco salad.
Yeah, but still. But we had like queso.
Yeah.
So my healthy hack number 1 is the salsa con queso. Because if you warm it up, and you do 2 tablespoons, it's enough to like do a nice drizzle. And we've done it on salad before. We've made nachos where we've actually counted out the chips. 15 bite-sized chips. Or we've done it like on burritos and stuff like that. But the salsa con queso, and you've got to check the various brands, but they are like 1 to 2 points for 2 tablespoons, and it's delicious. So that's healthy hack number 1. Okay, so salsa con queso, we actually had it tonight with dinner. And then healthy hack number 2, I believe you had this morning as part of your breakfast. And that would be Premier Protein.
Oh, Premier Protein. I always have Premier Protein.
Yes. So Premier Protein, we started using in place of coffee creamer. And so you drink most of your coffee cold, iced.
Yeah.
So you'll take one of the...
Yes, I am a sociopath and apparently a white girl wearing yoga pants where I only drink iced coffee.
Izzy thought that was funny. Izzy has joined us in the kitchen. But so we use it as our coffee creamer, and we've done the chocolate, the vanilla, the caramel, and my favorite is the cookies and cream. And so we buy just like the...
Thank you, Sam's Club, for bringing that back.
Yes. Thank you, Sam's Club. We buy the cold brew concentrate, which is also delicious. And you mix like a half a carton, which is 1 point, with your concentrate and some water and some ice, and it is a delicious iced coffee for 1 point, which is awesome. Or you can go to Starbucks. I
was gonna say, why don't you share your third hack?
No, it's still the same hack because it's still dealing with Premier Protein. But if you go to Starbucks and you order a double espresso in a venti cup filled with ice, and then if you want, you can do some pumps of the sugar-free vanilla or whatever. That is so good. You can even pour the whole carton in of Premier Protein.
Make sure they put it in the venti cup.
Yeah,
otherwise, you're going to have a mess.
Yes. But that is so, so good. And that's only 2 points then. And then the other thing I like to do with my Premier Protein is I like to throw, I'll take like a half a carton of the chocolate, and I'll take half a banana, and some ice, and throw it in the blender. And then sometimes I'll even throw in a little scoop of the PB2 and blend it and make either basically like a chocolate shake or a chocolate peanut butter shake. The banana flavor's there a little bit, but really it just kind of like smooths out the flavor. And that is, I love that because then I'm having a chocolate shake. So my healthy hacks for this episode are the salsa con queso. And you can check the various brands, whatever your store carries. And then the Premier Protein. So those are my 2 healthy hacks for today.
We good?
I think so.
Yeah, hold on to them because that's a good segment.
Okay. So I feel like I need like a catchy little name though. Like,
you could think on it.
An alliteration with my name. Cathy's... I could call it Cathy's Cravings.
Or
But
Cathy Maker.
Cathy's Maker?
Yeah.
All right, so that little cute voice that you are hearing right now is our daughter, Izzy. Izzy, can you say hi to everybody?
Hi.
And so our friend Nicole called this a Izzy cast, right? So we've got Izzy joining us. Will you come answer some questions and kind of so that people can get to know you a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. So I apologize. I'm going to move my chair for a second, which might be a little bit loud.
So we're going to ask you just some random questions, okay?
Okay.
Kind of like what you do in the car. Like we'll play.
Like when we ask you random questions in the car?
Just
Okay.
kinda,
So you just got to talk into the microphone. All right. So here is Izzy Strack's debut on the microphone. Okay. So
I have a whole list here.
Daddy
but
has a whole
Why don't
list.
you go while I try to pick out the best?
Okay. So Isabella, let's see. If you could be an animal, what animal would you be?
A dog.
Why?
Because I love dogs.
You love dogs? Okay, if mommy was an animal, what animal would mommy be? That's a tough one, isn't it?
A giraffe.
I'd be a giraffe?
Yeah.
Why? Why would I be a giraffe?
A dog.
Wait, why? I thought I was going to be a giraffe. You don't know? You just like giraffes?
No, I don't know.
While we're on the animal.
Wait, I want to know what Daddy would be. What would
okay.
Daddy be?
A elephant
I mean, an
Ooh, why
elephant.
would he be an elephant?
because he sometimes act like an elephant.
I act like an elephant sometimes?
Yes.
How does an elephant act?
Like Daddy. Silly?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, while we're on the animals, what kind of animal would you like to ride?
A dog.
You'd like to ride a dog?
Yeah.
Not Casper, though, right?
Like a different big dog.
Yeah, big dog. Casper's too little.
Okay, wide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big dog. Pink dogs.
Pink dogs.
No, blue dogs.
Blue dogs.
And green dogs.
And green dogs?
And orange dog and white dogs.
Oh my goodness. That's a lot of different dogs.
If you could eat one thing for breakfast every day, what would you eat?
A Pop Tart.
A Pop Tart.
Yeah.
Frosted strawberry, baby. Right? That's our favorite. Daddy likes brown sugar and brown sugar and cinnamon. But frosted strawberry is where it's at.
Yeah, and one day my mom dropped a Pop Tart in the bath. She made it.
I cannot believe you just told everybody that. Yes. Okay, so sometimes I eat salad and count my points, and sometimes I eat Pop-Tarts in the bathtub and drop them in the bath. Life is all about balance. Oh, Isabella.
Some people drink wine in the bathtub. You have a Pop Tart.
Uh-huh. Yes, that is a true story. That did happen.
Are those tears of embarrassment?
I don't know.
Or
I'm not sure.
Happiness.
I'm not sure. I am not sure. You are so silly. I can't believe you shared Mommy's secret.
They didn't even tell me if they sold
Oh, I didn't tell you it's a secret?
No.
All right. Do you have something embarrassing to share about Daddy? Kind of even things out a little bit?
No.
No?
Good call.
Oh, okay.
I don't even hear anything.
You didn't hear anything?
It's because I keep my embarrassing moments to myself.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Isabella, if you could eat anything... Oh, no. Okay. This was one. If you owned a restaurant, what would your restaurant serve?
French fries and cheeseburgers and milk.
Chocolate or regular? Both?
And drinks
Okay.
and macaroni cheese,
Yeah. Hot dogs?
hot dogs and shrimp.
Shrimp. All right. Coming in clutch with the shrimp. We got a little seafood lover right here.
Eh.
I had to go with
What's
another.
that? I love seafood.
Yeah, you love seafood.
Yeah, you do.
What else do you love?
Dogs.
Dogs.
Yeah.
What
And
else?
beef,
What?
Puppy.
Puppies.
And my lovey.
And your lovey, your blanket.
Lovey, the another word for blanket. That
Yeah.
way you know.
Yes, that's good.
If you good?
Sure.
If you wrote a book, what would the title be? What would you name your book?
Everyone loves different animals.
Oh.
Everyone loves different animals. So it would be about animals? Awesome.
And people love.
And people loving them? Well, thank you so much for joining us. Do you want to come back on and do this again another time?
I got some.
What?
I got some.
You got some what?
Oh, she's whispering a question to Daddy. And I don't know what it is, but she is whispering it to Daddy. Oh,
Okay.
okay. So go ahead, Daddy. Ask the question.
What is your favorite superhero?
Iron Man.
Why?
Because I just like him. Love.
You love him?
Yeah.
What, if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Invisible power and fast and fly.
Oh.
What would you do if you were invisible?
Just come to places really fast.
You probably jump out and scare Mommy. Kind of like when
She
you
does that
hide
in the-
in the passenger seat down by the floor, and when I open my door, because you and Daddy always leave the house before me, and then when I come into the car and I open my door, what do?
Say boo.
You say boo. So, you silly goose. All right, is there anything else you want to tell everybody about you? Anything?
My favorite colors.
Sure, what's your favorite colors?
Blue. Then my first one. My second one is green. My third one is orange.
Nice. That's awesome. Cool. Anything else you want to share?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
You should tell everybody to like and subscribe
Like,
to our podcast.
like and subscribe.
Yeah. So we're
Like
on,
this video.
well, audio.
Audio.
Audio or video.
Yeah, Daddy will put it on YouTube. I still haven't done that. But
So we are on,
iTunes
yeah, so Apple Podcasts,
Apple
right?
Podcasts.
And Google Play.
and Google Play.
So you could actually like and subscribe to Imperfectly Us. And we're going to do our best to try to get a new episode up every
And please leave us some reviews. I mean,
2
gives
weeks or
us
so.
gives us an idea
Yes.
of how we're doing.
We
and-
have gotten a request to do a Facebook Live, which we are hoping to do in the future. We're still trying to figure this whole thing out a little bit. So, right?
Right.
Are you going to join us again in the future?
What's the future mean?
What
Another
does the
time.
future mean? Another time when we do this again. Are you going to join us?
Yeah.
You got to actually speak. You can't just shake your head because
Yeah.
nobody can
This
see
is
you.
not a Facebook Live, and nobody can see that.
Are you going to tell us an embarrassing story about Daddy next time?
Daddy will,
They do not that stuff.
Daddy does not do embarrassing stuff.
No, he only tell me that.
Oh.
You drop a Pop Tart in a...
So wait, you know that because Daddy told you? Did Daddy tell you to share that story?
No, I just wanted to say it.
You just wanted to say it. Okay, so
good girl.
apparently I get ganged up on in my household, but that's okay because I still love them.
Daddy Izzy power.
Daddy and Izzy power.
All right. Thank you guys for letting us penetrate your ear holes.
Please don't ever, ever use that phrase ever again. No, don't. Just don't. Whatever you have going, I can see the devilish gleam in your eye. It's not a good idea. Thank you for listening, because the way he said it was super creepy. Super, super creepy. Can you say thanks for listening?
Thanks you to listening.
And
Bye.
Bye, and we hope that you listen again. And like we said, like and subscribe, and leave us comments so that we know, if there's anything you want us to talk about.
Text or just subscribe.
Yes.
Text or subscribe. Maybe not text, but subscribe and like, and write a review, and
Tell people.
feel free to share.
Show.
Because what? Wait, come here. Because sharing is...
I don't know.
You don't know what to say. What's our saying? Sharing is... What?
Caring.
Say it louder so that everybody can hear.
Caring.
Sharing is caring. That's right.
And tell other people, like my conference, drop a Pop Tart in the bag.
You do not need to tell other people about me dropping a Pop Tart in the bath. But that seems like a perfect time. I have to get my kid away from the microphone now. So thank you for joining us on the second episode of Imperfectly Us. And we hope to talk with you again soon.